Okay, y'all. So in the previous tutorial, we talked about how to bring in your recordings used with your Shure Motive recording app, how to rename, that was a review, how to right-click on a track to change the color. We turned on the snap tool in the toolbar. We listened and we used markers with the M key to mark errors or places where we need to edit, where we also practice using the split tool, where you place your cursor where you want to cut out mistakes and you press S and then S again, select it and delete it, with the ripple effect turned on and how it bounced right back. Then we practice crossfades and different things like that. And so for this one, I also showed you kind of how to bring in an effect, a sound effect. Mine was a motorcycle and some panning, as well as gain control, which is essentially volume. That's surprisingly one of the most overlooked techniques in audio editing. We can do so much by simply raising or lowering volume. We want to create space. We want to create this sort of spatial 3D realm. And so for this tutorial, we're going to practice just some creative techniques. I'm also going to use things like an EQ, an equalizer. And now if I could only have one plugin, one effect ever, it would be the EQ. I can fix errors with it. I can create vocal effects, like make it sound like I'm inside of a tunnel or on a telephone. I can do all kinds of things with an EQ. And as we're going through it, it's going to feel very foreign. And what I want you to do is just to kind of play around with it. You may not quite grasp each part of it, but we're essentially playing around with the frequencies of a sound, of a voice, and we're cutting and we're boosting to try again to create space, or eliminating anything out below 100 hertz, which is noise and a lot of things. And I'll demonstrate this more here in a bit. But first, I just want to show you, just without using any fancy plugins or anything like that. We have plugins that do delays or echoes and that sort of thing. But without even doing that, let's practice it just by duplicating a track. Now, I'm going to come over here and I want to join these together. Right click one, I'm going to right shift and click the other. Then I'm going to right click it and I'm going to do glue items. And now this has become a full track again. So all of my edits have become one. So I don't have to worry about things moving around or shifting. It's all one track now. And so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to duplicate this track. So I'm going to right click on the track itself. And I'm going to come down here to duplicate tracks. And there it is. It's the same exact track. So I'm going to solo these so I can hear them together. Oh, enter. In a room of silence. So right now, there's not much going on, right? It just, if anything, increase the volume. What I can do to create what is called a stereo width, because without this duplicate track, we just have this mono track, meaning I can pan it left and I can pan it right, but it's only going to be on those sides. So let's play with that, right? In a room of silence, I hear the whispers loud, echoes of a memory, shadows in a crowd. Each word's a footprint, fading with the sun, repeating till its texture. And so you can see down here on the bottom, I'm just playing with the pan, right? I'm going left and right, and I'm going to double click it to go back to 0. I can only go left and right. What if I want to make it wider and more vibrant and full? So I've got these two tracks. They're exactly the same. So I'm going to pan one hard left, and I'm going to pan one hard right. Let's solo. Actually, let's do center on one of them. In a room of silence, I hear the whispers loud. Okay, now I'm going to pan it hard left. I've got this track panned hard right. Take off solo here. Let's listen. In a room of silence, I hear the whispers loud, echoes of a memory, shadows in a crowd. Just to hear that one more time. In a room of silence. So by doing that, we're just creating a little bit of space, right? So, in a room of silence, I hear the whispers loud, now we can echoes of a memory, shadows in a crowd. Each word's and by bringing that not all the way pan left, all the way pan right, we're bringing it back to the center, which in return is creating a loudness, right? So I'm going to leave it there. Here is a technique that doesn't always work how we want it to, but what I'm going to do is create a delay. And by doing that, I'm going to take this bottom track that is a duplicate. Actually, I'm going to double click it and say dupe, so I know that. And I'm going to nudge it or drag it just ever so slightly. Let's hear that. In a room of silence, I hear the whispers loud. Pretty cool, right? I did that by simply moving the track below it. Now I'm going to Command Z. Listen again. In a room of silence. And then again, I'm going to grab it and I'm just going to slightly move it to the right. In a room of silence. See, that was too much, so move it back a little left. In a room of silence, I hear the whispers loud. In a room of silence, I hear the whispers loud. I love that. And so simply by duplicating the track, panning left and right, and then slightly moving one, we create that effect. What happens if we do it again? Let's go right-click the track. Let's duplicate it. So to group things, I'm going to select multiple items and hit the G button, or the G key. So I can't click the tracks per se. I have to select the actual items. So now you see these little links. It looks like a chain link. These are now together. So if I was trying to move this effect somewhere else in this mix, and I didn't want to lose that really cool delay, that is a way to do that. And a way to unlink them is just click that little chain right there. Shadows in a crowd. Okay, so we have that effect, right? But let's say we want to keep our main one dead center, right? And we've got these pan hard left and right. Let's play all three together. Loud. Echoes of a memory. Shadows in a crowd. Now they're kind of on top of each other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower the gain, the volume of these two kind of fun tracks. So I'm going to select these down here. And now I can move this volume together. So this is super helpful because I want them to kind of be lowered at the same time. So let's play back. I hear the whispers loud. Echoes of a memory. Shadows in a crowd. Each word's a footprint, fading with the sun, repeating till its texture, till the tale is spun. Okay, so then I've got that effect coming in, right? So how can we get even more creative without having to sit here, do the faders individually, and then more so, how can we keep that effect? So I'm going to bring this a little bit wider. So again, this is my motorcycle right here. Now I want these two tracks to automate. And so essentially what that means is as I'm bringing up the volume with the faders themselves, I want it to write that, meaning that slow build and volume to actually become attached to the tracks themselves. And this is called automation. So to do this, we need to go on these tracks and so we're going to right click it. We're going to go to automation mode. So right now I want to do latch. So this means that latch on this one too. As soon as I press play, I'm going to be holding both of these because I'm going to select them both. I'm going to be holding them down. And then as soon as I let go of these faders, it's going to pop back up to where it was, potentially. So let's start with them down. And let's see if this works. And you can see here on the actual track itself, see that line? Let me make this bigger. This is your automation within the actual edit window. So let's go all the way back. I'm gonna bring these down. Let's play it. In a room of silence, I hear the whispers loud, echoes of a memory, shadows in a crowd. Each word's a footprint, fading with the sun, repeating till its texture, till the tale is spun. Voices overlap in a choir of the new, harmonics intertwine, crafting colors, crafting hues. In the rhythm of machines, in the call of the wild, lies a language undefined, the song of every child. Okay, check it out. So look up here. I'm going to Command M, get rid of that. You see all these little points? That I just created by using automation. So let's hit enter and just play it back and give it a listen. In a room of silence, I hear the whispers loud, echoes of a memory, shadows in a crowd. Each word's a footprint, fading with the sun, repeating till its texture, till the tale is spun. Voices overlap in a choir of the new, harmonics intertwine, crafting colors, crafting hues. In the rhythm of machines, in the call of the wild, lies a language undefined, the song of every child. Pretty cool, right? So here's the other thing is I want to make sure I do is come back over here to the track, right click, go to automation mode, and we want to hit read. And this is so we don't overwrite anything that we just did. So in read mode, it's just reading the audio file. Now what we could do if we wanted to get, even more technical or change the speed or the ramp in which things go up, I can come into the track itself. Let's say I wanted the left side to get louder first. I can literally move these points up and down. If I hit option, I can draw in this stuff. So get coming up and down. Let's listen. Memory, shadows in a crowd. Each word's a footprint. Let's actually mute that. Repeating till its texture. Let's listen here. Shadows in a crowd. Each word's a foot. So you can hear it kind of jump up and down there. I don't want that, so I'm going to Command Z, get rid of it. It's back to where it was. So that's pretty cool. I just automated the volume or the gain. So likewise, I can do that with panning. So I'm going to come up here to my motorcycle. And I am going to make this pan left to right by using automation and not having to use the knob, that's Command M. This is your pan knob down here without actually having to use the pan to go left and right, because right now I've got it pan to the left. I'm going to double click it, put it back on the 0. Let's solo it and listen. Each word's a footprint, fading with the sun, repeating till its texture, till the tale is spun. Voices overlap in a choir. I apologize, it's not going to let me mute those because of the video I'm using. In the rhythm of machines, in the call of the wild, lies a language undefined, the song of every child. Okay, so right now it is just panned dead center. What I wanted to do is move from right to left. It's Command M. I'm going to get rid of my mixer view there. And let's actually, it's a little bit smaller. I'm going to zoom in by using my minus key on the keyboard. And so I'm going to go over here on the motorcycle track and see this trim button here. I'm going to click it because I want to be able, right now we can see that volume line that we saw down here. I want to also be able to see the pan. So I clicked that, and so over here on the track, I can see this orange guy here. So now that I can see it, I can now automate the panning. So likewise, I could come in here and I could hit Command and I could draw, panning left to right. Let's hear that. Proud. Each word's a footprint, fading with the sun, repeating till its texture, till the tale is spun. Voices overlap in a choir of the new, harmonics intertwine, crafting colors, crafting hues. In the rhythm of machines and the call of the wild lies a language undefined, a song. Okay, let's hear that again. So that was some pretty drastic left and right maneuvering. I'm going to Command Z. Get out of that. And then I'm going to Command M, bring up my mixer, and I'm going to find my motorcycle track. I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to go to automation mode. I'm going to go to latch. So in this is my pan knob. And so I'm going to bring this here. And as I listen, I'm going to actually use the pan knob to go back from left to right. So I want to start all the way on the left. You can see it move. Now let's hit play. In a crowd, each word's a footprint, fading with the sun, repeating till its texture, till the tale is spun. Voices overlap in a choir of the new, harmonics intertwine, crafting colors, crafting hues. In the rhythm of machines, in the call of the wild, lies a language undefined, the song of every child. In a crowd. Okay, Command S. So right click on it so we don't overwrite anything. Track automation mode, go back to read. Command M, let's go back on our screen here. I'm gonna mute these so I can hear it. And let's see, I was trying to create a sort of panning effect from left to right. Let's see how successful I was. And that was pretty good. And again, I'm going to Command Z and undo all that. And then what if I wanted to get really crazy with it? So let's do that. We're going to use Command, and I'm going to get really drastic with this. I'm going to go up, I'm going to go down. Let's see what happens by creating all these effects. See if I can actually solo it, if it'll let me. Each word's a... Nope, I got to mute these. I'm actually going to bring up this volume a bit. So not quite as smooth, and in fact it's a bit disorienting. But nevertheless, kind of a cool technique. So I'm going to Command Z that. I'm going to go to here. This is also our edit automation mode. I need to double check that that's on read. I'll get out of that. And you'll see on here, there's other things that you can adjust as well. So for this, we are going to add an EQ. And in fact, we're going to add it on these two tracks. So to add an effect, I need to hit this little button here that says FX, and it's going to bring up this box. Once this is up, I'm going to come over here and click Add, and then it's going to bring up this. So you can go to all plugins, type in the box EQ. Now I have a ton of different EQs because I just have a smorgasbord of third-party effects and that such. So don't worry about all that. I'm going to go down here to cuckoos because these are the built-in ones. and you see this re-EQ. That's the one we want to add. So I'm going to add it. Now it's going to bring up this screen. Now, when we're looking at a sound wave, everything goes across frequencies. So we're starting all the way down here at 0. Really, technically, the human ear can hear anywhere between 20 hertz and 20 kilohertz. Most people cannot hear anything below 100. It's really just noise. And so, in fact, for my main vocal track that is panned in the center, I want to eliminate any noise. So I'm going to go to the FX. I'm going to add an EQ. And I'm going to come in here, and on this one, I'm going to bring it all the way down. This is called a high pass. And this means I am cutting out these lower frequencies. It's also known as a low shelf. All of this is really just noise. And in a noisy soundtrack, let's see if you got a humming in the background from a machine, this will literally help eliminate a lot of that. I'm going to come in here. Oop, not that one. Mute these and solo this guy. And let's see if we can hear it. Each word's a footprint, fading with the sun, repeating till its texture, till the tale is spun. Voices overlap and acquire of the new. Harmonics intertwine, crafting colors, crafting hues. So, we just eliminated noise right there. Awesome. You can see it even bouncing around. Each word's a footprint, fading with the sun, repeating till it... So I eliminated that on my main track. Now, on my duplicate tracks, if you noticed, I added that sort of telephone effect. So we mute those. Let's add this one here. Hit return. In a room of silence, I hear the whispers loud, echoes of a memory, shadows in a crowd. Each word's a footprint, fading with the sun, repeating till its texture, till the tale is spun. Voices overlap and acquire of the new, harmonics intertwine, crafting colors, crafting hues. In the rhythm of machines, in the call of the wild. I like that. And by doing that, I'm actually making space for this main track that is panned center. Let's listen. In a room of silence, I hear the whispers loud, echoes of a memory, shadows in a crowd. Each word's a footprint, fading with the sun, repeating till its texture, till the tale is spun. I think that's pretty cool. Let's hear them all together without an EQ on that duplicate one. In a room of silence, I hear the whispers loud, echoes of a memory, shadows in a crowd. Each word's a footprint, fading with the sun. So, kind of messes up a little bit with our duplication of this. So I want to kind of do the same thing to this other one. So let's add another EQ. Let's bring this down. Let's bring this down. Let's bring this up and give it a listen. In a room of silence, I hear the whispers loud, echoes of a memory, shadows in a crowd. Each word's a footprint, fading with the sun, repeating till its texture, till the tale is spun. Voices overlap and acquire of the new, harmonics intertwine, crafting colors, crafting hues. In the rhythm of machines, in the call of the wild. All right, let's listen to both of those together. We may have been already. In a room of silence, I hear the whispers loud, echoes of a memory, shadows in a crowd. Each word's a footprint, fading with the sun, repeating till its texture, till the tale is spun. Voices overlap and acquire of the new, harmonics intertwine, crafting colors, crafting hues. In the rhythm of machines, in the call of the wild, lies a language undefined, the song of every child. Oop. Command. So we want this in the center. I want this hard left and this hard right. In a room of silence, I hear the whispers loud, echoes of a memory, shadows in a crowd. Each word's a footprint, fading with the sun, repeating till its texture, till the tale is spun. Voices overlap in a choir of the new, harmonics intertwine, crafting colors, crafting hues. In the rhythm of machines, in the call of the wild, lies a language undefined, the song of every child. Cool. So we did a little EQ action there. This is super helpful too in working with a bunch of different kinds of instruments. We're not doing per se a music composition piece here, but you know, like a guitar and another instrument like a piano, if those frequencies are laying on top of each other, it creates what is called muddy effect. And so what I just did was pretty dramatic, right? We're being very creative. There's subtle boosting and cutting that can create space for different instruments and such. We'll dive into music editing, music production a little bit later on. Same technique, so it's just a little bit more precise, less dramatic, if you will. I want you guys to have fun with like the EQ and different effects right now. So just go wild, see what sounds cool, play around with it. And honestly, that's all I want. I'm not, trying to grade you on how precise your EQ techniques are yet, because we're just barely starting to understand it, right? So we did all that on the vocals. I'm just going to save, Command S, save project, Command M, get out of the mixer view. And now I want to put another effect on this motorcycle, but I'm not going to EQ it. I'm going to put what is called a reverb. Now, this reverb it's not an echo, right? If we think of an echo or doing down a canyon, it's like echo, 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 and it kind of disappears. Reverb actually is sound that bounces off walls or surfaces in your area. It can be very disruptive if you're recording. However, it can also put a sound in a different space. Let's say I wanted to put this in a football field sound or down a tunnel. We can use this effect to do that. And I'm gonna. So let me get out of there. So I'm going to go to Effects. I'm going to go to Add. I'm going to make sure I'm on here, the Reaper built-in Cuckoo's effects. Get out of there. And I'm going to start typing in Reverb. R-E-B-E-R-B. What's going on? Okay, so R-E-E. Ooh. I just started typing in here, and it's going to bring up these. We want reverb. Comp, delay, EQ. Repitch. We can change the pitch of sounds. We want this one reverb. So we're going to add it. Okay. So I'm going to mute all of this. You should be able to use solo for you guys. Right now, again, because I'm using this OBS screen recording software, it's not allowing me to use these tools. So I'm having to mute them physically. What would be a lot easier for you all is just to hit the S. You get solo the track. So anyway, without further ado, let's give it a listen. Another thing I'm going to do down here on my transport bar at the very bottom where there's play, right next to the play button is this loop. Remember that old guy? And that way when I select it, hopefully, it will loop that playback. And that way I can keep editing without having to worry about stopping and finding my playhead and blah, blah, blah. So without further ado, let's start messing around. So with reverb, if I take away what is called the dry signal, which is our regular symbol, and I boost the wet, it sort of adds this little bit of space. What if I bring rid of the wet and put in the dry? Let's see if it loop records or loops back. Yeah. Bring down the dry, bring up this wet. So it's going to kind of put things in the distance. If I go here into presets, here's a sweet verb echo creator that I did. bad crunch sounds like. I want to hear more of the effects. I'm going to bring up the wet, bring down the dry. Kind of getting some interesting sounds in there, right? So we have to be careful with this too, because we are raising the volume by doing this. We can also do what is called a preverb, which changes things around a little bit. I personally am digging the sweet verbo. Oops. Let's see if I can. So again, I'm going to drop this dry and bring down the wet a little bit here. I don't want it to interfere with the rest of the tracks, the volume, so let's bring in all this. In a room of silence, in a crowd, each word's a footprint, fading with the sun, repeating till its texture, till the tale is spun. Voices overlap in a choir of the new, harmonics intertwine, crafting colors, crafting hues. In the rhythm of machines, in the call of the wild, lies a language undefined, the song of every child. So yeah, each word's a footprint, fading with the sun, repeating till its texture, till the tale is spun. Voices overlap in a choir of the new, harmonics intertwine, crafting colors, crafting hues. In the rhythm of machines, in the call of the wild, lies a language undefined, the song of every child. So there you go, y'all. So we played around with automation. We did a little bit with some EQ, and we did a little bit of some reverb. Play around with your tracks, get creative. I just want to see that you guys are using these effects. Pan left and right. Bring up your mixer. When you take your screenshots, I want to be able to see your mixer and your tracks. So that might, if you've got a bunch of different tracks, you can make them small here. And then I want you to zoom out, or in rather. So I'm going to hit the negative so that I can see your whole tracks here. What might even be easier is if you simply take a screenshot, so I can bring up my mixer, make it bigger, so I can see right here. This is how you also access the effects that you've put. These are called plugins on your mixer itself. So take a screenshot of that and bring this back down, or Command M. I want to see at the very start, and actually zoom out a little bit because I want to see that you have fades on everything. But yeah, so when you do your homework, you're going to take 2 screenshots. I want to see your mixer, and I also want to see your arrangement editing window. But mainly, you guys, take what you've created, start bringing those tracks in, and get creative. Now, the one thing I didn't do here, which a lot of you will have, is that main background sound. Now, that could be anything from water, that could have been by the river, the park, whatever. Have that as your ambient track underneath everything. So that'll be your master track, right? So if I had a river sound, I'd do this, and I'd bring in a river sound here. I'm just going to use this as an example. This is a horrible track. But let's just say I'm at the cemetery, because I was, and I want this to be my main ambient. I'm going to bring that volume way down. Each word's a footprint, fading with the sun, repeating till its texture, till the tale is spun. Voices overlap in a choir of the new, harmonics intertwine. So whatever that background sounded like this, that will be in the foreground of your track, right? That signifies the place where we're at in telling your story and creating these things. Also, by having that track in the background, as I do edits to these other things, as I move things around, let's say I wanted to cut out, I came in here and I'm like, I don't want this vocal here on this track, so I'm going to split it. I'm going to come down here. Oh, let me not do that. On this track, I'm going to select it. I'm going to hit S. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to hit S. And I'm going to delete it. And then I'm going to come over here and hit S. And then here and hit S. And I'm going to delete it. And I'm going to come in and add fades so I don't get any weird clicks and pops. But having this background track should hopefully create space so that we're not hearing these weird jumps. Let's give it a listen. There's loud.
All right, so if I'm trying to sync up sound.
Actually, let's do this. I need this to be not me talking. Again, this is background, right? There's loud. In a room of silence, I hear the whispers loud. Echoes of a memory. Shadows in a crowd. Each word's a footprint, fading with the sun, repeating till it... Again, done with that. Repeating till its texture, till the tale is spun. So let's hear that again. Shadows in a crowd. Each word's a footprint, fading with the sun, repeating till its texture, till the tale is spun. See, so having this little background track here, this is my ambience track, I can do these edits and what it's called masking. So I'm masking any sort of edits within the whole, right? Without this, we're going to hear things cut out. So let me mute that and let's hear it. There's loud. Echoes of a memory. Shadows in a crowd. Actually, I'm that good, so you didn't hear them. No, but you get my point. This becomes really crucial when we start doing editing for film. And that's when we'll talk about things like room tone, is you gotta have sort of that noise layer, whatever it is, but keep the volume low, play around with EQ. Typically, I would do this as a stereo track, meaning duplicate it, so right click, and we're gonna duplicate it. I'm gonna Command M, I'm going to pan one hard left and one hard right. There's loud. Echoes of a memory. We want our ambience to be stereo filled. In a stereo filled, meaning left and right. And that is just the nature of background, ambience, that sort of thing. If we're in a park, the park sounds aren't just going to be coming from one side. Unless you do it with intention, but you get what I mean. Anyway, I hope that this will get you guys pumped and get you in your creative brains and minds and go wild. I know I just covered a ton of stuff. So if you have questions, please reach out. I had been sick last week and I'm out of town this week, but I will be back in town at the end of the week. So if anyone needs help, if you want to meet up in person and do tutorials, run over some of the stuff. I can also do it on Zoom. It's a little bit harder, but we can certainly do that. Give me a shout. Let me know. Matthew is also there as your ally. And yeah, best of luck, my sonic friends. I can't wait to see what you create.